Mr. Prime Minister, you announced 4 changes to your cabinet. What are the main reasons for the announced reshuffle?
I had looked at our performance over time, and I thought that we'd
You are happy?
get some more injection of energy into some areas. But I was advised against the change in our legal practitioners who are now in cabinet. So I have decided that that will not happen, because I've taken account of the concerns raised by the Fiji Law Society, and they are the experts in the area. There are some very senior lawyers in that organization. But I also understand that, as lawyers, they take cases to court. Some may be asked by a client, will you take up my case? So they go believing that their client is right. And on the other side, there'll be other lawyers who believe that his client has done something wrong. So they argue in the point of law, and that takes place in court. So they need a judge. In this case, there has been no judge. I have taken some advice initially, and then the Law Society came up with their concerns, and I give them a lot of credit. They wouldn't have written something on something that's trivial in the sense of the administration of government, the administration of the law within government. So I thought, okay, let me listen to them, and got my own advice from within government. That's the Solicitor General's office. The advice came, and weighed everything up, and I said, okay, we will not go into that, into the change of the Attorney General and the Minister for Lands. We will keep them where they are.
Same advice from Solicitor General is the same as Fiji Law Society?
Basically, yes.
Basically, yes. Okay, why did you do it on Friday evening on Facebook and social media platforms when things went alive there? Came as a shock to many.
I didn't do it on Facebook. Somebody put it on Facebook.
So who put it on Facebook?
Those that do the Facebook postings. I didn't.
You didn't do it?
No.
Why was this also released without any proper gazetted ministerial assignments?
There has been none. That's what I said to the reporters today, or was it Ministry of Information this afternoon? There has been no reshuffle.
So this announcement that was made quoting you was done without any gazetted ministerial assignments?
No, there has not been any. There has been no reshuffle. I told them this afternoon that the reshuffle happens after the president has been advised. We are commissioned. We are commissioned to perform the roles we are in cabinet, to look after those portfolios that are assigned to us.
Exactly. So my question, without gazetting ministerial assignments, the release was just to show an intention?
No, there was no release. I did not authorize any release.
So you did not authorize the Friday night release?
No.
It was released without your knowledge?
Without my knowledge. And I don't even know. I didn't even see it. I don't refer to Facebook and all those things.
SODELPA ministers, they have told through their party that one minister found out at midnight Friday and another on Saturday morning. They would definitely be concerned finding out and not knowing what's the reality. Are you concerned about that?
I am concerned, and I was in Australia at the time.
Why change the AG and Minister for Lands? There was an intention.
There was an intention because they're both legalistic in that sense. I mean, there's a lot of legal work in lands and also as Attorney General. And before the initial assignment of responsibilities in December last year, I had consulted with Honorable Sarongo. He told me there were a few things that he had to straighten out. And later on in the term, he was my first choice anyway at the time because I knew him and he had been in practice a long time that I knew of at the time. I was not aware that the current AG was also performing as a magistrate and doing very well in that field. So when it comes to the selection of people to go into take up ministries in the formation of government, the leader or the one who has been voted in to be prime minister would have to rely on his own experience, his own understanding of the people around him, and make his choices as best as he can at the time.
You're watching Fijivillage Talk, Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. Now, the issue in relation to the Constitution, where there was a requirement that if you have been found guilty by the Independent Legal Services Commission, you do not qualify. You did not know about that requirement?
I knew about that. That's why I asked Honorable Wasarong in the beginning. And he told me at the time he needed to straighten out a few things. And later on, he said that he'd cleared those. So I took it. I took his...
you didn't check it?
His word at it. And
you didn't check it?
I didn't check.
You took his word for it?
No, I didn't look for any other.
No, but I'm saying you took his word for it.
I took his word for it.
But there's a legal requirement.
Yes, I know. Then when he said, as a lawyer, as a practicing, he was practicing well before. And so when that came up, it all came up about the same time as the concern raised by the Fiji Law Society. I said, okay, let me look at this again. When I was sure that the legal advice from the Law Society had some merit, I put everything on hold and eventually decided, no, it will not work. It is against the Constitution, and I'm only sad that, well, they should be very strict, the lawyers and the Law Society, while we have in non-lawyers can have spent conviction considerations. If you've had a conviction and there has been a time where you have behaved, over that period, there can be a move to just clean up your record so that you don't have previous conviction coming up again if you have another case.
Like people, they can, 8 years after they've served their conviction, they can come back and contest the elections.
Yes.
So you thought there may be a requirement?
I thought there might be something like that with them, but there isn't, and there has not been any change to the requirement. So, no, I'll not have that change.
There's another question here about the RFMF commander writing to the Home Affairs Minister, that's his line minister, raising concerns about the AG announcement. Mr. Pio Tikondondua had a press conference stating that the issues were raised with you and also discussed with the commander upon your return from Australia. He had a press conference, also confirmed that following that the requirements will be met. Can you confirm whether the RFM letter also played a part in you deciding to hold back on a planned reshuffle?
There is no direct communication line between the commander and me. He communicates with the line minister, the Minister for Home Affairs, who, upon receipt of the letter, alerted me and said, "Sir, Prime Minister, it's going to be very sticky. I believe we should be taking heed of the advice from the commander and also from the Law Society of Fiji."
Very sticky in terms of what the commander is saying. You've been a former commander, you've been in the military. What are your thoughts on the gravity of the situation and implications on the nation?
I think it's grave enough for him to to be in touch with his minister. And that is very responsible for the commander to do that. It is only, and the minister immediately alerted me to it. So that's another point of consideration during my deliberations on the matter.
Some people definitely are saying that, the government may have made the decision after the pressure from RFMF. Are you changing things now where the RFMF is ready to come and have discussion with your line minister and those views are taken into account.
All those count, all those we listened to, and we boasted, we advertised the fact, we told everybody, we are a government that listens. In this case, we listened to the Law Society, and we listened to the Minister for Home Affairs, who brought the concerns of the commander, and though all those add up and give me confidence in making the decision that there should be no change.
What is your next step regarding the Attorney General? Do you really need to change the AG?
No, there is no change in AG.
So there won't be any change?
There will not be any change.
You said you're still having discussions, so there won't be any change?
No, there is no change.
Why change the Minister for Education and
There is none also on that. Because
you had showed an intention that you wanted to change.
Yes, and the SODELPA, quite rightly, came up. They had not been consulted. So I consulted, or the leader of the SODELPA party asked for consultation. We did that with the leader of the National Federation Party, although there was no change involving their members. We had a tripartite meeting, and we all said, okay, in that case, we stay where we are.